Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's school board meeting. We'll start with an invocation this evening by Dr. Alan McBride, who's the lead pastor at the Church of Shalimar, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Superintendent Marcus Chambers. Would you please rise?
Thank you. May we pray together. Consider this day, the time therein, this time this evening to be a gift from you. Lord, I ask your blessing for this board, for Superintendent Chambers, for everyone who's involved with the process, the experience of community in education for our children and their families. Lord, bless all that happens herein tonight. Bless the continuation and completion of a great year at school, and bring about the very best. We ask all of this in the name of Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Approval of the agenda. We do have some changes. We have changed consent agenda, added item 7.2, RFP 25-01, Food Service Management Operations Committee recommendation. At the request of Mr. Wyndham, Program Director Purchasing, we've added item 7.21, Proposed School Operational Support Staffing Grid and School Supplement Grid Discretionary Budget for Fiscal Year 25-26, at the request of Ms. Perry, Chief Financial Officer. And so with that, we need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Heinley.
Second.
Second by Ms. Ivanchek. Any discussion? Being no discussion, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. That brings us to Section 3, Recognitions 3.1. Recognition of Shelby Welch, 2025 Florida High Athletic Association FHSAA 2A 129-pound weightlifting Olympic and traditional state champion, presented by Superintendent Chambers. Superintendent.
Thank you, Dr. White. School Board, it was very nice as you were doing that item right there. I looked out at Shelby, and of course, a big old smile coming across her face, and the family, and the coach, and the principal. But to me, it gets more and more interesting that every school board meeting, it seems like another state champion is coming before us, regardless of the season. And all of us know, because we've talked about it at length, to be a state champion is not an easy feat. The last board meeting, we had a lot of people in here, and I said, raise your hand if you've ever been a state champion. 2 hands went up of a packed room, and that's probably indicative of the percent of individuals that'll ever be state champions. A lot of people in this room right now played sports in high school and college, didn't make it to that level. And this school board says it well, that state championship did not occur on the day that you earned it. It occurred during the summer. It occurred the months past. It was all the frustrations. It's Coach Sherman over there pushing you, and I'm sure he gets your attention from time to time, right? But just could not be more proud of you, Shelby. And I know your parents are very proud. I know Principal Heck is extremely proud, and so is your coach. But so is this school board that puts a lot of emphasis into not only academics, which is critically important, but the arts and the athletics. So we could not be more proud of you. And in a second, you're going to come forward, but not yet. I first would like to turn to our school board, who may have some words for you as well.
Sure. Colleagues, who'd like to start?
I just want to tell you congratulations. I mean, what a huge, huge endeavor that you've taken over the years, and you hit your pinnacle. You're on the top of your game, so congratulations.
Yes, and I will say, just to say that more and more, Mr. Chambers, we're seeing our female athletes come forward with, even in things that are not traditional, like weightlifting. You don't tend to think of these young women, but several years now we've had these young women come forward. So Shelby, as a Choctaw graduate myself and former Choctaw teacher too, I want to say way to go to continue that Big Green spirit of championship, and so proud of you. And are you a senior? Okay, so you can take that into the collegiate world and shine for us out there. So congratulations, and thank you for your dedication, and thank you to your coach, of whom I'm familiar and have seen him work, and of course to your principal, Ms. Heck. Way to go Big Green.
Well, good job, Shelby. I too am an alum from Choctawhatchee and a former teacher and a coach there, and I hate to say it, the superintendent's right. I never won a state championship. But congratulations to you and your coach and to all the folks that support you and have helped you along the way. I see your principal here, Ms. Heck, and you guys are lucky to have her and all of her support. And we just appreciate you and thank you for your dedication, because that's what it takes to do what you did. Thank you. Mr. Bryant?
Thank you. And I had the privilege of meeting Shelby just a few minutes ago before the meeting started, because I parked right next to them and noticed all the Georgia Bulldog stuff all over their vehicle. And Shelby tells me she is going to the University of Georgia. So there you go.
Mr. Yeah, you made Mr. Bryant happy.
But congratulations, Shelby, and to your parents. You know, we talk about how these students work hard, but it can't be done without their parents getting them to the events, encouraging them and all, and of course with the coach and the administration that's here to support her. But the parents are the ones that are the true support for the students that go out into the state finals and, you know, get the state championship there. So parents, I know you're extremely happy, and good luck. But Shelby did tell me that, Ms. Savanchek, that weightlifting at the college level is not recognized by the NCAA. Was that correct, Shelby? Is that what you said? So,
Really?
So maybe this is a time, you know, where we can get that, you know, where the NCAA would finally wake up and say, hey, girls weightlifting is a thing. And Okaloosa County has provided a lot of state champions on the, since I've been on the school board. So, but good luck. Good luck.
Well, Ms. Welch, as a former student athlete myself, I do know that you have brought an awful lot of honor onto yourself for your accomplishments, an awful lot of honor to the school district itself, but it really does belong to you. It belongs to your support team. You guys certainly put in the work and have earned it. There is a lot to be proud about in your accomplishments, but I will suggest, I was going to ask, but Tim beat me to the punch on where you were going to go for college. I'm proud that you're going to end up being a Bulldog. It is a little bit disappointing that the NCAA is a little bit behind on women's weightlifting, but I know there will be opportunities for intramurals. I know that there is cross-application for other sports. You're certainly Division I caliber athlete, and I will suggest that you're going to be successful in anything that you apply yourself to. You've already laid the groundwork for the discipline, the hard work, the tenacity, all the things that are going to inevitably, the accountability that goes along with being a student athlete, that you're going to, I have no doubt that you're going to apply that to your studies. And the truth is, most of us student athletes end up going pro in something other than athletics. And I can't wait to see the next set of accomplishments in your life, because I know you're going to go great places. But the honor belongs to you guys, and especially Ms. Welch. Thank you, and good luck in your future endeavors.
Now, Shelby, your principal and coach are going to come forward, but I have to admit, I was told you were going to Florida State, so I'm not very sure about this. So, Principal Heck, if you'd come forward, and Coach Johnson, if you come forward. And both of you might have a few words about Shelby. And Shelby, I apologize. If you would come forward as well, I apologize, Shelby.
Thanks for having us here tonight. Shelby, come stand right over here next to me. I did write a couple things down, because I do not want her incredible accomplishment as a state champion to to just be that. Shelby is so much more than that. I actually met Shelby when she was 11 years old, and she was a brand new sixth grader at Meigs Middle School, and in she came. And now you see the big version of Shelby. So I've known her for a lot of years, and I've been blessed to be her principal almost every single one of those years. Little bit about Shelby Welch. She is getting ready to graduate from Choctawhatchee High School as a summa cum laude graduate. She has a 4.58 GPA. So Georgia is extremely blessed to be getting her. She had her choice of where she wanted to go. She's ranked 10th in a class of about 360 graduates. So when I describe Shelby as intelligent, independent, clearly beautiful, obviously strong, but she is such a fierce competitor in everything she does. And I do mean everything. Again, I've known her since she was a little 11-year-old. She is so much more than that. I'm going to let Coach Johnson talk about briefly her role on the team, because as captain, that in itself brings so much to the table. She's a state champion. She is Shelby Welch, and I'm so very proud of everything she's accomplished.
You're going to have to put that a little higher, Coach.
Don't want to break it. All right. So I didn't bring notes, so I'm just going to speak from my heart. And I may ramble a little bit. But we first met 3 years ago when she came out to try out for weightlifting, terrified. She and some more. But there was something that was different about her. There was a lot of strength, a lot of vulnerability, but strength. And as we moved on, she started talking about team. The team always came first, before herself. So I want to add another description to her. She's the ultimate team, I want to say player, but lifter. If the team was always first. I'll give you an example. We got word out that we were not going to practice, but someone missed it. That person's sitting back there. But I didn't know she was there, so Shelby came, Coach, Jay's at practice. I'm going to go pick her up and take her home. We didn't have practice that day. She left home. She was, Coach, you stay there. I got it. I'm going to pick her up and take her home. So that's the kind of person she is. That's the kind of teammate she is. She led without me asking her to lead. This past season, I just said we want to be a team captain. I never had a team captain, so we made her team captain. In practice, we shared a lot of tears, a lot of blood. Her blood, not mine. A lot of heartache. But our team is like a family, and we're really, really close-knit, and we spend a lot of time with team bonding and things like that. My wife is involved. She's back there, Amy. Her parents are involved. They've been really, really supportive, and I can't think of enough words to say because it'll come up short. She's been invaluable. And her goal was to win the state championship this year, and she achieved it with flying colors. It wasn't close. So, ultimate competitor, ultimate leader, ultimate team player. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better, anyone better. Okay.
Awesome.
Now it's too high. Is it locked? Perfect, that works. Hi. Thank you all so much for the recognition and appreciation. It means a lot. And when you receive recognition like this, you're always supposed to thank people. So I have a few people that I would like to thank. Obviously, all of y'all. I would also like to thank Coach Thigpen and the rest of administration for their support of the girls weightlifting program. The biggest thank you to Coach Johnson for everything that he's done for me and the support that he's given me. He has grown this program so much in the 3 years that I've been here. Just where we started and where we are now, it's incredible. State qualifiers, on and on and on, freshmen, I'm so proud of them. I also want to say thank you to my parents for their love and support and being my biggest cheerleaders always. And most importantly, I want to thank my teammates. They couldn't make it tonight. Most of them are actually dual sport, 3-sport athletes, so they had things going on. But I've always said that everything that I do is for them. And the most important part of this accomplishment for me was leaving a legacy for them to be proud of and to leave them shoes to fill after I'm gone. And of course, none of this would be possible without Jesus Christ. His the glory forever. Thank you so much.
I can come down here.
Do we just turn around?
I think so.
Well, yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Good job.
Sorry.
All right, and so that now brings us to item 3.2, recognition of the Month of the Military Child, presented by Ms. Elaine LaJeunesse, Eglin 96 Tactical Wing School Liaison. Ms. LaJeunesse.
Thank you, Dr. White. Thank you, School Board, Mr. Spolsky, Mr. Chambers, and all of the district staff. Today, I want to recognize the Month of the Military Child. April is very significant for the lives of the military-connected student. Many of these students in their parents' careers have, for 20 years, have probably PCS'd 9 to 11 times, have been deployed, and these students have been resilient, courageous, and are very, very flexible in living the military life. And we are, here in the state of Florida, Governor DeSantis, along with all of our 67 districts, we are highlighting the sacrifices that they make living the military life. Each of you have received some information, your Month of the Military Child button, a marketing flyer, and on behalf of General Massaro, our test wing leadership, and our total force members, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, and Special Forces and Space Force, thank you, Okaloosa County School District, School Board, for all of the support, the education, the academics that you help us and our children as they transition from state to state, overseas to stateside, from district to district. And so thank you for purpling up this month. Shelby, if you're still here, congratulations. And Mrs. Heck and the coach, congratulations. I will tell you that our military families thrive here in this district and here in the Panhandle area. So thank you for highlighting Month of the Military Child and completing the Purple Star School of Distinction for every school. And I know every school in the district is highlighting military-connected students in some special way. Lastly, over the last 5 years, I was able to do the Patriotic Honor Cords, and I just talked with Mrs. Heck, so the high schools will be receiving a free patriotic cord for every graduating military senior to highlight the accomplishment of 12 years of their academics. So I want to thank those principals in that partnership, and thank you, Mr. Chambers, for our continued, ever-growing, innovating partnership.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions?
Anything?
And Dr. White, I would just say this morning we had a lot of words about this month, and we had a presentation from Mr. Spolsky as well. And I think this is a great culmination to the board meeting tonight. We started in the morning, and now we ended this evening. So we appreciate that partnership as well.
Thank you.
And real quick, if I can comment, I wasn't at the workshop this morning, but I was watching it. And Mr. Spolsky, I thought it was kind of cool that you referred to Fort Sill with the tanks and the tumbleweeds. I was born at Fort Campbell, home of the 101st Airborne Division, so it was kind of cool to hear that connection that we have there. And I know Grant was in the Army, so but I will just say that as a military child, I didn't have this when I was growing up. I mean, we had the support of the families on base, but when you got off base, it wasn't that way. Not until around the 80s that it started changing and communities started embracing their military communities. And one of the biggest privileges I have for living in Okaloosa County is the fact that we do support our military and their families, and people like yourself and everybody that's involved to get the word out is just, it's just a great thing for these students, because it's a different time than when I was growing up in the military. Mm-hmm. It's a lot different. So, but to have those counselors at all the schools to help these students go through the process and all, I think that's just a tremendous asset to not only the students, but for our school district too, and for those students that aren't affiliated with the military. They get to know how it all works and all. So, so thank you for what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Anything else?
I believe it's the 96 Test Wing.
Did I say? Oh,
Tactical.
well, it's an abbreviation.
Just
I'm
helping out
sorry.
in general.
Thank you.
Test
Mr.
wing,
Hindley.
test wing, yep.
Just a wing.
And thank you. We appreciate it, and we appreciate all of the principals in the district and all that they're doing to support military-connected students.
Yep.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
support,
Yep.
too.
Thanks for helping. All right, colleagues, so that takes us to administrative personnel appointments, Section 4. There are none. Then Section 5, public comment for agenda items. Ms. Mary, I don't think we have any. Okay. Then Section 6, committee and staff reports. There are none tonight. And then consent agenda, 7.1, is the approval of the consent agenda. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
Second.
Second by Mr. Destin. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, so we'll scroll on down now to Section 8 and 8.1 and 8.2 are information only, no action required. We covered those in today's workshop. 8.3, out-of-field report for the 2024-25 school year, presented by Ms. Duran and recommended by the superintendent for approval. Need a motion?
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Ivanchak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hindley. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.4, employment separations presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Hindley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Destin. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.5, personnel recommendations presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
Second.
Second by Ms. Ivanchak. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.6, employee transfers presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Destin.
Second.
That was close.
Aye.
Second by Ms. Ivanchak. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.7, employee suspension presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Hindley.
Second.
Second by Ms. Ivanchak. Any discussion? There's none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.8, employee suspension presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Ivanchak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 5-0. And then 8.9, leave without pay, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
Second.
Second by Mr. Destin. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. No items on discussion agenda. Section 10 would be construction program owners, representatives, business. We have some paperwork, so we're prepared to receive that report.
Okay. In front of you, you have a 14-page report. We're going to go line item by line item.
Let's get it.
All right. You also have a summary agenda, but if you can take the big one with you and look in any questions. So I'm going to hit a few highlight items. Still got a lot going on in this district. Task Order 12, which is the sales tax, and it has to do with the old cafeteria renovation projects. You know, we built a lot of cafetoriums, and then that left some space. So Edwin's project was submitted, or will be, the GMP will be submitted hopefully by the next board meeting. So that's going to be number 1. We got Ruckel probably number 2, and Plough number 3. And then after that, we got Wright, Shalimar, and Bob Sykes. And so it's progressing on to take that underutilized space, or that empty space, which they're actually utilizing in a lot of these schools, but to renovate them and get them helping the kids. Task order number...
Mr. Heinley,
Yes.
Dr. White, if I can ask Mr. Heinley. On these designs, about how many classrooms are we looking at gaining from these cafetoriums, the old cafetoriums?
Mr. Myers?
I know it's kind of changed over the last couple of years,
Yes,
but I
sir.
was just curious what...
So for the most part, 4.
4.
There's a few schools that we're trying to squeeze in 5.
Okay,
So,
okay. So 4 is still the number, okay.
Okay?
Okay, task order number 23, it's the high school auditorium upgrades. They are basically done and under warranty. That's 1.5 money. Task order number 32 is 1.5 money, and that is a Florosa Elementary on the roof, and that is completed under warranty. And our central admin roof, and with the good weather, they should be done by the end of this week on the roof in this building. Task order number 33 is 1.5 money, and that's the softball press box concession buildings. Fort Walton Beach High School is started. Crestview is hopefully will be finished by the end of this week. Task order, another part of task order number 33 is the restroom concession building at Lewis School, and that's started. Task order number 34 is sales tax money, and that's the sales tax project at Meigs and Destin Middle Schools. So it talks about the Meigs old front office, and we'll have that all finished, or they will have that all finished before school starts next year, or next school year. Task order number 35, this is 1.5 money and COP. This is a big one. This is the new Crestview K-8 school, Destin Elementary School, 345 Center, and 10 classrooms addition at Baker School. Big, big, big project.
Pineview.
What did I say?
You said K-8 through...
Oh, yeah, the new Pineview School, that's correct. We have iron showing up. It's going to start going vertical at Pineview. That's very exciting. And, you know, they've had some issues with water and lack of power. They got their own well there, and we haven't had the power, but the power has been resolved, and we should have that within 30 days to help speed up the process. Let's see, task order number 37 is a sales tax project, and that's HVAC projects. The Mary Esther Elementary School is done, and the Fort Walton Beach High School is completed, and we're starting to work on some nice high school design for their HVAC as well. Task order number 39, district-wide parking and paving project, sales tax money. The soup loves this one. We got the Phase 1, 2, and 3 going on at Crestview. The Phase 1 shall be done by summer. So the demolition work is about 90% complete right now.
you said the superintendent is excited about it. This board member is extremely excited about it too, because that's one of the things I've heard over the years is that parking lot. So, but it's really moving along pretty good. And thank you to everybody who's been patient with Miss Hayden and her staff and not, blowing up the phones about the parking issues. And so we do appreciate that.
And I'd like to say the design is very nice. I mean, it's just not paving, it's curbing, lighting, the whole works. It'll be very professional looking. Task order number 44, sales tax. Edwins Elementary School, this is a roofing project. And the design work was completed and the GMP was submitted, and the contractor has been selected, and they will begin work after the materials arrive. Elliott Point School, Phase 1, GMP is being developed and will be submitted for approval on 4/28, our next board meeting. And that's Elliott's 1.5 money, Edwins is sales tax money. And that I say that because the public needs to know the difficulty of construction jobs depends on funding. And funding is very complicated depending on where we get the money and the importance of the funding. Task order number 45 is tax priority restroom projects. And initial sites have been visited. Design team is working on it, and we'll be going for pricing once the designs are finished.
Is that restrooms in the schools or in athletic, everything?
All over the place, various places, right? The ones that need it the most. So they've been surveyed and visited to the schools. So those are the summaries. If you have any other questions, you can contact me with the 14-page one. Has a lot more detail. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Heinley, for doing all that.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I was just going to tell Mr. Heinley, thank you. I know it's an extra burden, but especially with the amount of projects that we've got, I appreciate his efforts in keeping us updated.
Yep, that's right.
Good report.
Thank you.
All right, so this takes us to our attorney and any business you might have, sir.
No report tonight.
All right, very good. And then superintendent, might you have something?
Thank you. Shared information this morning, but I would like to recognize Dr. Kelly, principal of Destin High School, who's out there with us today.
Yep. Welcome, Dr. Kelly.
Are you back for your seat?
You like wrestling? Can you tap in, tap out?
All right. Okay, so that takes us to section 13, board members' announcements and requests for information. But first, we do have an item of business, and action item 13.1 would be school board members' travel requests. So I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ivanchek, second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, we did some board members' announcements and requests today at the workshop, but let's go around again. There might be something else. Mr. Heinley?
I have no further announcements.
Okay. Ms. Ivanchek?
I'm good.
All right. Mr. Bryant?
Actually, I have a couple of announcements. So, speaking of weightlifting, Crestview High School does have a weightlifting state champ, and that's Braxton Ratcliffe. And not only did he win a state title, but he actually set a state record in the snatch. So, way to go to Braxton Ratcliffe. And Mr. Chambers, I know we don't want to talk about the Final Four and all that, but I do have to recognize that a student from Laurel Hill School, and I know Dr. Kelly was a cheerleader at Laurel Hill School back in the day, but Tyler Southard, who was a cheerleader at Laurel Hill, and you've heard me talk about him in the past, but he was able to fulfill his dream of being a cheerleader for the Florida Gators. So everybody thinks that, that you see them out on the football field, but they actually do other events. And he had the pleasure of being in San Antonio cheering for the Gators, and I know that was a huge exciting time for him, and we're just really proud of Tyler for all that he has accomplished. And if I can pull this up real quick, and Mr. Heinley, I did hear that Mr. Bryant would have done his homework, and you're right, I would have.
Oh, yeah.
So
Listen
here
to
is
him.
some things about President Pierce. So he is actually the first president that actually kept his cabinet his whole time as president. He was the first one to have his whole cabinet stay. So I thought that was pretty cool.
But did you hear what the superintendent said
I
about
did
it?
about the pies and all that. That was pretty cool. So,
I don't know if you can top that.
but here is one of the least memorable. Historians and scholars often rank his presidency as one of the least memorable and most controversial in U.S. history. So
That says a lot.
that says a lot
it's controversial
because
and you forgot it.
obviously a lot of people don't know who the 14th president was. So
I guess he was just a nut.
cheating, that was a good one. But no other further announcements, Dr. White. Thank you.
Good. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bryant. All right, Mr. Destin, anything?
No, I can't follow that. I'm good.
All right, very good. Okay, so that takes us through board members' announcements and brings us to section 14, public comment. This will be 14.1, members of the public desiring to address the school board with general comments, meaning comments that are not on the agenda. And they're passing me 2 cards. And so the first, I'll just call them up in the order that I've received them. Ms. Sarah Graham, who is from Mary Esther, Florida, and she would like to talk about the start time for Florosa. All right, would you please come forward? And Mr. Attorney, while she's on her way, would you give her some, I'm sure she's read the rules and regulations, but as you see fit?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There were 2 things. Is it just what we discussed? Was that the only thing, or can I address it with the board as well? Okay.
Yeah, so there's 2 minutes.
Yes,
and
sir.
there's a clock, and it's going to make a funny noise
That's
if you
okay.
keep going. Mr. Attorney, would you go over any rules or regs that we need to?
As the chairman said, you'll have 2 minutes to make your presentation. We'd ask that you give us your name and address for our record, and that you address your remarks to the chairman and not to individual board members. Thank you.
Okay. So my name is Sarah Graham. My address is 1005 Fay Drive, Mary Esther, Florida, 32569. Okay. So I would like to apologize if this was addressed or discussed prior to, or if this can be found online. But I would like to first discuss, yes, there is Florosa start time that I had a question on, but I don't think that you guys addressed that. So if not, it's okay. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was House Bill 5101 and State Bill 2510. My nephew is going to high school. He's starting high school in Central Florida, and he received letters from every high school in the county, and he chose to go to Vanguard High School, which is in Ocala, Florida, because they have the IB program. His IB director sent out an email last week stating that there are severe funding cuts being proposed for specialized programs such as IB, AP, and CPAE, which is Career and Professional Education. His school alone stands to lose $400,000, and that county sent a letter of resolution against the bill. I was wondering if Okaloosa County has done the same, or if they plan to do the same before it's voted through. Were parents of middle school and high schools notified? Do we know how much we stand to lose for those schools? And if I'm reading it correctly, it appears that funds are going to be going towards the Empowering Scholarship, which on their website it says that they are that Florida's Choice option empowers every family and every child to achieve their educational goals. And then later on it says that it's only their approved organizations that will be receiving the funds, or that they'll have the scholarships to. To me, that sounds contradicting. Like I said, my nephew is going into high school, and him and his parents have worked very hard. Oh, time's up. What are we doing against that?
That was the noise I told you.
Yeah, that's okay. That went by super fast.
All right. So I know that there are multiple bills
Yes,
being
sir.
proposed, and I know enough from experience that some of them come to fruition and some of them never come out of committee, and et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know specifically about these 2. There may be someone else that would like to address this, superintendent.
I'll be happy to address it. And of course, we can also discuss this more in depth, afterwards, or even tomorrow with staff. But as it pertains to the AP, ACE, IB, in essence, every student who's in those programs, they get a base level of funding, and then there was another level of funding, and that another level of funding has now been cut in half. There are some districts who have put that out to different organizations and entities. We have taken a different approach, where we've spoken with our legislators, and we've spoken with representatives who are also advocating on our behalf. So that is something that we are absolutely paying attention to, because that that does impact our budget. I will say, just as I've said this morning, we still will be prepared to send this school board a balanced budget, but I think anywhere where we can advocate for Okaloosa, that's definitely what we're doing. When you look at family empowerment scholarships, the other piece of that, I'll just say this. There are students across the state of Florida who were in private schools that never were in a public school, and they do receive family empowerment scholarships. And those numbers range across the state in different numbers. For us, it'll be about 28 million.
Wow.
So can I ask about that now, or I have to wait until later to talk? I have to wait, okay.
Yeah, technically. Otherwise, I'll have to extend time
That's
for,
okay.
okay.
Appreciate
All right.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I can just make
Brian?
one quick comment. I'm the advocacy member for our school district, for our school board, and I will just tell you that what we're hearing is like the IB people have really been making inroads in Tallahassee, so there's been a lot of noise, and you know, the one thing that elected people who make the laws do not like to hear is, you know, people pushing back and for something that they're passionate about. And I agree with Mr. Chambers, because we talked about this the other day. I definitely am on board with the way our school district is approaching it, and I personally think at the end of the day it might still have some impact, but hopefully it won't be to the point to where what he's saying, like $28 million. I think there's enough pushback going on right now that probably might not come to fruition. So,
Okay, appreciate it. Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
the fiscal impact, do our representatives know that? Have we given that information to them?
Now, when you say representatives, you mean state legislators?
Right, right.
I'm unaware. Now, I don't know what communications the district superintendent and his staff have received from the state indicating what kind of budget forecast we're looking at. Maybe we haven't received that yet. Have we received a forecast?
So the piece that I'll say, again, all of this is still in flux as it pertains to the AP, IB, and ACE. Again, a lot of advocated, and have we advocated? We have. Have we talked to our lobbyists? We have. As it pertains to the 28 million that I'm talking about, that's the Family Empowerment Scholarship impact to Okaloosa. And every school district has that type of an impact. And I think, well, I won't speak for this board. We've talked about, I do agree with parental choice. But I also want to advocate for our school district and our schools as well.
Now, on the IB program that she specifically talked about, have we provided information to our lobbyists and our representative on the financial impact for that?
We have.
And I would suggest, as a civilian, as a person out there, as a citizen, contact your representative. I mean, they're doing.
Yeah, and we've talked about emails and stuff. I just didn't know, like you said, if there was, because Marion County, they provided like what the breakdown was and how much they stood to lose and things that they can do. So I just didn't know if there was a way that I could locate that online or if that was given out, something like that. But
Yes, ma'am, and that goes
Yeah.
back to the heart of my response to Mr. Heinley. I don't know if the school district, if the finance department has yet received a real-life forecast, or if this is all still in flux, it's all something still being talked about, that the outcome may be something entirely different.
Right.
And so
and if I can comment on what she's probably referring to, and this is something that you know, we talked about the other day from not Marion County, but from another school district. I believe the numbers that they're coming up with are in the past, what they have, you know, what has already transpired for them. So they're using those numbers to kind of, you know, like Dr. White said, we don't know yet because the budget hasn't made it all the way through.
Right.
So I think they were using numbers from the past.
Right,
So.
right. Okay.
I appreciate you coming and letting us know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
on-
good.
It's gonna be on our forecast for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
absolutely. Thank you.
thank you. All right, so now I have another yellow card from Mr. Jeff Flowers, who's from Niceville, and he would like to address why students receive zeros when they're suspended from school.
I spoke with
Ah, so this card is, we don't need it. Okay, all right, very good. Okay. Well, then that concludes all the yellow cards, I think. Is that right, Ms. Mary? We're done? Okay. So that'll move us on to adjournment, but before that, I always ask, anything from staff? Superintendent? Yes, sir. Mr. Attorney, we're good?
Yes, sir.
We're adjourned. Right.
Hey, do we have this card?
Jeff has them.
Got it.